If we wanted to create multiple buttons that acted the same way as our home button here, we certainly don't want to have to start from scratch and create all of that functionality over again. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can duplicate this multiple times and still have them act as separate buttons. So I'm going to take this home button, we'll click on it. Actually, first we need to unlock the buttons layer. We'll click on our home button, hit Control-C to copy it, Control-Shift and V to paste it in place, so we just pasted it right on top of itself, and then we'll use the arrow keys to nudge that down. And if you hold on to Shift while you hit the arrow keys, you'll nudge it in larger increments so that it moves faster. And now we have two home buttons here. Now we don't want two home buttons, so what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this second button that we just created, and we're going to go down to Duplicate Symbol. Now I realize that this duplicate symbol disappears below the viewing area of this video, but it's there. If you right click on a symbol, you can go down to this Duplicate Symbol option and click on it. So if we click on Duplicate Symbol, it's going to ask you what this new symbol is going to be named. Well, let's call this About button. This will be the About button. So we'll click on OK. And now when we click on this movie clip and look down here in our properties, we'll see this is an instance of About button. So we've basically just created a whole new symbol. It just looks and acts the same as our home button symbol. If we go to our library, we'll see that we have a home button, which we created earlier, and we have our About button. So we've created a whole new symbol and added it to our library, and it's on our stage as well. So now all we need to do is to go into this symbol and change the text from home to about. So let's double click on this symbol, and we're going to unlock the text layer, make sure that all the other layers are locked, and then we'll double click on that text field, double click again to select the whole word, and we'll type in About Us and hit escape. So now we go back to scene 1 and we see that we've changed that button. Now the reason the text didn't change in the top button as well is because these are now two separate symbols. Now if we tried to do this without duplicating the symbol first, if we just hit Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, move it down, and then went into this one and changed this text to something else, let's highlight that and just change it to Products. You'll notice, you can see right here in this little shadow here, that the other button is changing as well, and that's not what we wanted. So let's hit Control-Z to undo that. Go back to scene 1, and if we want this to be our Products button, we first need to duplicate the symbol. We're going to duplicate the About Us symbol and make it into something completely different. So we're going to right click on that, go down to Duplicate Symbol again, and instead of About Button Copy, we want to call this Products button. We'll click on OK, and then we'll double click to go into that, and now we're inside a different symbol. We're inside the Products button symbol. So that's different than the About symbol. So now we can go into our text here, change that to Products, and it won't change the other button. Go back to scene 1, and there we go. Now we're going to copy this, Control-C to copy, Control-Shift-V or Command-Shift-V on a Mac to paste in place. We'll move this one down, and this will be a different symbol as well. Let's make this our contact page. So we'll right click, duplicate symbol, and we'll call this Contact button. Click on OK. Now that it's a different symbol, we can go into it and edit the text. So we'll type in Contact Us here in this button. We'll go back to scene 1. And one last thing we need to change, you'll notice that each one of these still has an instance name of home_MC. If you copy and paste a movie clip, it's going to also copy and paste the instance name. So we'll go to the About Us button. We'll call this About_MC. We'll go to Products. We'll call this Products_MC. We'll go to Contact Us, and we'll call this Contact_MC. Okay, so each one of these has their own instance name now. So let's go to our actions. Click on Frame 1 for the Actions layer. Hit F9 or Option F9 to open up your actions. And basically we just need to create the same code that we have up here, but we're going to create that code for our About Us, Products, and Contact Us buttons. Now we don't need to create these functions again. It's going to be calling on these two functions, so we don't need to create these functions over and over again. We just need to create the event listeners and the button mode statement for each of our buttons. So let's highlight all of that, the first 3 lines of code, Control-C to copy it. We'll skip a couple lines to add a little readable space in there, and then hit Control V to paste that. So this one will be for the About page. So we'll just change home underscore MC to About underscore MC. And everything else we're going to leave alone. Skip a couple lines again, Control V to paste. Instead of home, we're going to have products underscore MC. And then one last time, Control V to paste. Instead of products, we're now going to have the contact button. So contact underscore MC. And there we go. So we've very quickly, very easily created several buttons that act the same. We've given them their own instance names, and all we had to do was add the button mode equals true and the two rollover and rollout event listeners, because we've already created the button over and button out functions. And since we're pointing to e.currentTarget and not to a specific movie clip here, then this e.currentTarget is going to point to whatever movie clip triggered that event or triggered this function. So now when we hit Control Enter to test our movie, we hover over home, we get what we expect. We hover over About Us, we get what we expect there too. So each one of these movie clips now has its own rollover and rollout event. And that's how you can create some more complex buttons using ActionScript. And if we just kind of hover over and move down, we get kind of a neat effect there. But that basically wraps up that discussion. So let's close that. We'll close our actions. We'll go to File, Save As, and we'll save this as mcbutton03.fla. So we'll save that, and we'll move on to the next video.